Well, in case you can't tell, it's pretty much precisely 4 a.m. Full moon out there. Yeah, I guess you can see that next to the... I could say there are two moons, right? No, it's a street light with a moon on the other side of it. It's pretty much full moon. Nice and cool this morning. Got up at the time I like to get up, which is earlier than ever before. I don't know what the heck I'm doing at 3 in the morning getting up. But I started off the day with water, room temperature. Well, with the Synthroid supplement, which I wish I didn't have to take, but I'm used to it by now. And I'm taking the right name brand stuff, which is a whopping huge amount of money in the United States, but you go across to Canada and it costs a sixth of what it does here in the States. Not much sense on that, is there? That's because they're busy exploiting us. Us, United States. They've been given free license to exploit us and to destroy us, by the Bilderbergers in particular. But Yahweh may have something to do with that because he's letting it happen. Why is he letting it happen? Because we turned our backs on Yahweh. That's all there is to it. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Now, I'm breathing a little hard because I did 2 sets of each of my exercises today. And I modified my squats to use the name Yahweh. And I also used what I showed you a while back when I did Courses of Miracles, where I gave you basically breathing exercises on the name of Yahweh. I've got to make that clear that that's what that is. It's nothing else than that. And with the squats, I was doing those all the way down. I did them both ways because I'm like thinking, well, I got to balance myself. It's probably different, inhaling with my arms stretched out down below versus exhaling up above. So I experimented with a little bit, but I realize right now I got to do a little bit more on that before I make a video and try to teach that to you. But I did 2 sets of squats. What's that? Oh, that's that street light. And I did 2 sets of push-ups. And the first set I did American style. I wrapped off 35. And after that I did 10 reps of the slow Russian style. Now the Russian style is much harder. I didn't hold them, but I went slow as I could, and 10 is a lot. In case you're wondering, 10 is kicking ass. I mean, when I first did it, the slow push-ups was like 1, 2, maybe 3. It was back in the end of the winter, early spring in Delaware, and I had to work at it for a while. So I've got it up a little bit at this point. And I'm also using a couple of supplements, which I highly recommend. And I'm going to go use leucine. Pretty much directly from here, I'm going to go and imbibe some of that. I'm going to beat the hell out of it in a bunch of water. It's hard to mix up. You really got to use a blender on it. And you got to let it blend it a little bit, let it set, and then hit it again. Whip that thing. And then take that sucker down, and it opens up the mTOR pathway for muscle building. And so I'm doing that because I'll be damned if I diminish and suffer from sarcopenia, muscles going away. And of course, my doctors don't want me to take the stuff because they want me dying. You got to understand something. I told you this, and you're probably not getting the message yet. But the 8th beast is here. It's been here for well over 100 years with us. And we just didn't realize what it was. I didn't realize what it was till about a week ago. I listened to a sermon from a youngster, 60 years old, out of Texas. Yeah, I can say he's a youngster. I'm that old, okay? And he covered the book of Daniel, and he covered several things. He was covering a couple of things, and one I don't want to bring up because it's super political, and it's just like, I'm not liking it, and you're not going to like it either. But the other is he went after the beast system, and we all know about the 4 beasts of Daniel. It starts off with a ram, then it goes to whatever, a leopard. There's 4 different creatures in there. I can't even remember the order. That's because we're at the 8th beast system. We're at the last final beast system right now. And it is the same as the first beast. You got to remember, it says right there in the Bible, it's similar to the first beast. It's like, what was the first beast? The first beast was Greek. I believe that Philip of Macedonia, the king, went to the oracle at Delphi to find out about his son, to get a reading there. And I believe he paid the price. There's fees for that because those are professional services from professional priests, I guess. Con artists is what they were. And he went right along with the oracle at Delphi. And his son, Alexander the Great, conquered the world, the known world, or at least, his section of it as best he could. The first beast was Hellenization. It was turning the world into Greek language. Everybody spoke the Greek language. When this young guy was done with his sermon, I'm watching it on YouTube. I can't remember his name. I can't remember the video. But I'll probably go back and listen to it again because I didn't like the other stuff he was saying, but I got to listen to it because I think he's right about that too. And so, the 4th beast, the 8th beast is Greek. Now, hear me clearly. I've had people interrupt me. People who are supposed to be believers interrupt me and challenge me. They don't want to listen to it. And, of course, I look at this guy, and one in particular I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, you're just a de-willer. You don't even want to hear what I believe I've discovered. You don't want to hear me. You want to dominate me. You want to strip me of my will. You're a de-willer, a devil in disguise, using the scriptures to dominate? I'm sorry. What kind of love is that, brother? It ain't. He interrupted me so many times I never did get to tell him, and I decided, no, he don't want to hear it. I'm not going to tell him. I'm not going to waste my time anymore with him. That's just the way it is. There's only one profession that uses Greek exclusively in its nomenclature. And of course, this guy interrupts me and tells me, well, they're using it in mathematics. Well, yes, we use Greek symbols. Yes, we do. Okay. Good girl, Lorraine. Yes, good girl. I don't think you can see her right now. She's right here beside me. Okay, there she is. All right. Come here. Yeah. She went bombing around the field. She was really tearing it up and having a real good time out there. And I could barely see her. It was so dark. Even with a full moon out there, of course. Anyway, back to the story. Your 8th beast uses Greek on all of the drugs they bring to market. They all have Greek chemical names. Now, when I say it's the only one that uses Greek, well, that's not quite true. The guy wanted to contradict me, and I guess I'm glad he pointed that out and I got some correction. But he never heard the message from me at all. He had to head on off. Now, I understand that, but I thought it was kind of rude not to hear me out. Okay, maybe he corrected me properly. I don't know. I don't know how to look at that. Anyway, all of these concoctions they treat us with, they use Greek names. And I know most of you think, well, the medical doctors have our best interests at heart. Then tell me, why is the physician's desk reference that lists all of their Greek compounds, their Greek chemicals, why is that written by attorneys, not by medical doctors? It's to reduce liabilities. And they've got both of them working together in their beast system against us. And the doctors are NFG. No fucking good. You could say that means non-functional gear. I learned it from a guy up in Matsu Valley who was working for Matsu Electric. And, well, what the hell? He said he was putting NFG on the boxes for stuff because they were no fucking good. And the secretaries got upset with him, claiming that he was cussing on there and stuff. And they asked him, you can't be marking this stuff like that. And he says, why? What's wrong with that? He says, well, what does that? They demanded of him. What does that mean? He says, it means non-functional gear. Which is like our government. If you look at it, it's no fucking good. It's non-functional gear. And my biggest criticism of the King James Version is the fact they pulled the government out in the list of principalities and evilties and all that stuff. I mean, they pulled that right out of there. Why? Because King James wanted his people to love him and his government. He was not a nice guy. And I know you're going to run around saying, well, it's the Holy Word. It's the Holy Bible. It's got the Spirit in it. And I will not disagree with that. It does have the Spirit in it, but it's got a lot of wicked stuff in it too. There's a lot of evil in any Bible. Because it's got to tell you the good with the bad. So your 8th system, your beast system, which is destroying us, is here. And we all pay homage to it. We go to the medical doctors, they wear their white lab coats pretty much, and they dictate to us. They tell us what to do, and they don't really know much about the human body. They know a lot about making money. They know a lot about pushing the drugs for the drug companies, because the drug companies rule the roost. The drug companies control their licensure boards, and the drug companies educate those bastards. And they don't even know how their medicines are made. They don't know what their medicines are made from, where they come from. And to me, that's not much of a doctor. And then we also have it on good report from good physicians who actually care that there's snake venom in there. And I know you've heard the thing about snake oil salesmen and all that stuff that came out of the 1800s. Well, that's a little more on the mark than what we all realized. Because a lot of those medicines are running on principles of toxicity and disabling. Actually, most of them do that. If they find something that's a good supplement, they try to withhold it from us, or they charge us inordinate amounts of money for it. Not a very fair thing. They got you coming and they got you going. And right now, the big pharma people are getting into the supplement business so they can control that too. Because they got all the money in the world, pretty much. The two biggest financial trusts, independent of each other, are not your frickin' banks. They're big pharma. The companies that did not get bombed in Germany during World War II were big pharma. That's right. They didn't get bombed at all. They were ordered to skirt around those. It just shows you how the same bastards on both sides. And I bet right now the same bastards are at work in Russia and America and Europe and all that. They're busy trying to get their war going. And they're going to get their war from what I can tell. But I've been trying to address Generation Z so they will be able to recognize the enemy and be able to deal with the enemy. Because my generation let this country down. We let it go. We dropped our guard. We didn't realize what we were dealing with. We were dealing with professional victims, con artists who pretended to be victims. Oh my God, we've been kicked. Everybody's down on us. They don't like us. Well, you undermine the morality of every nation you exist in. You undermine the morality. You undermine the belief system, the religious system. You undermine the families. You poison their wells. You poison their food. You kidnap their children. You sacrifice their children. You harvest adrenochrome, and you use them for sex slaves, and you eat their bodies too, on top of all that other shit. I'm not making that stuff up, folks. We're just waking up to how evil it has been, and it's going to be unless we put an end to it. And that's what our job is. And that's why I address Generation Z, because the old people like me, we don't even have the reflexes necessary to respond to danger properly anymore. I hate to admit that. I hate to admit I'm getting old. I hate to admit that, I'm breaking okay still, but there's going to be a day in which my reflexes just aren't up to it, and I know that's going to happen. Hopefully not soon. You got your beast system. You got evil that's been inherited on the planet. And I'm also going to tell you another thing. Artificial intelligence is stupid. Why is artificial intelligence is never going to be very brilliant? Why? Because it's being fed the censored literature. The evil ones have censored the literature for at least 3,000 years, according to Eustace Mullins. They cut themselves out, they wrote themselves out, and as a matter of fact, some of those people, back when they were seafarers, only their neighbors wrote the truth about them, and we only get little slivers of that because they were not nice people. And we've been fooled. They've been there the whole time with us. I would even guess to say they've been from one Earth age to the next Earth age. And my guess is they've been here for 6 Earth ages, and they're on the last one, I hope. Why? Because Yahshua said it himself. He finished it at the cross. And what was he declaring? He was declaring the kingdom, his kingdom upon the earth. We're supposed to take this earth over. We're supposed to run it for all species. We have the intellectual ability to do that. I don't know if we have the will or if we have the goodness of heart, because we've got a bunch of screw jobs among us who hide among us who are absolutely evil. And you dumb bastards out there that say, Jesus saves, man. He can save anyone. Now, I don't want to limit his power. I don't want to say, no, I can't save that person. But you're going to say, well, he can save them right up to the point they're on their deathbed. And then they're okay. Some were born for the lake of fire. From their inception, from their conceptions, from the moment their parents had sex and that thing was conceived, it was headed to the lake of fire. You can agree with me or disagree with me on that. I don't mind. I'm not going to steal your thunder, steal your will. I'm not going to be a de-willer. Oh, yeah, but I'm supposed to I am supposed to give credence to your belief equal to my own. That's bullshit, man. That would be de-willing me, wouldn't it? I like my belief system. I like the country I was reared in, which is not what is in existence today. And I realized the evil guys were behind there, laying in wait, making their plans to go after us. And they've told us what they're going to do. They've told us many times. For some reason, it appears to be one of the biggest rules in the game. I guess it's like, once they say that, then if we don't protest or stop them, I guess it's a form of consent? Is that really consent? We have the most evil government in the world. All of the evil forces have focused on North America to take America out so they can use our war machine freely on the rest of the planet. They might even nuke the whole thing. We don't know what they'll do. We don't know what they're capable of. I think they've destroyed planets before. And I think they've had to come here because of their history. They destroyed the asteroid belt. Is a destroyed planet. I think they did that. Don't know for sure. Mars, I'm real positive they destroyed the atmosphere on Mars. And so now they're moving a little further in to the earth. And they've got the technology that they could destroy our atmosphere here on the earth too. They're destroying it left and right. They're spraying us like crazy. But they actually could get the whole thing blown away. They could destroy the earth's abilities to support all life. Which is why I tell you the earth groans for her saviors. We have to come out of her and put this beast system to death. Yahweh created it to rule till the end of the age, not forever. It's been here for about 6 Earth ages. I don't know if it's 5 or 6, probably 6, and they're getting ready to try to make it past the 7th Earth age, but I think at this point they're stopped. And they just may make it into the next Earth age, in which case our descendants, our children, need to be fully educated so they can know what they're dealing with and they can put an end to those bastards once and for all. For some reason, I've got the idea that it's going to take 5 generations beyond us to hunt those bastards out, ferret them out, and dispatch them. And no, you can't keep on kicking them from country to country because they're going to do the same shit to the other people. Would you wish that upon them? Those people out there that you think are so different they're your enemies, would you wish that upon them? They're going down to Argentina. That's their next stronghold. They're going to do Patagonia. They love it down there, and I can't blame them because it's like, it might be more beautiful than Alaska, but don't you tell anybody I said that. It's one of the few places that's so pristine in the whole planet right now. We have to make peace with our brothers in the Northern Hemisphere. We have to be able to reunite with Russia. That's a tall order because you got these evil jackasses that have been stirring the pot for centuries. The Russians lived with them for 200 years. Alexander Solzhenitsyn wrote the book about it. Are they still living with them? They probably got spoilers among them as well. They got some of the enemy there undoubtedly trying to get their hooks back into them again. But America has been laid wide open for them to take us down and control us the way they have. And now we are partaking in the genocides of that maniac Bibi Netanyahu. Are we not guilty of the same? We've got a colorful history out there, that's for sure. We haven't been pristine. But at this point, are we going to allow them to use us to genocide the Gaza people, the Palestinians, the people in Lebanon, the people in Turkey? Are we going to allow them to take over the world? I don't think so. That's why I think the fight has come home. It's coming home. I'm not looking forward to it because I know, as tough as it is today, that we will miss these days, and we will say, those were the good old days. May Yahweh bless. May you bless Yahweh. Ask Yahweh what you can do for Yahweh today. Drop your shields for Him and for Him only. Let Him into your heart. Let Him express to you the best choices so you may actually go down the best path and you may be saved today. Salvation is of the present. You've got to make it. You do have a choice. You can expire if you really want to, but you don't have a choice if you really want to live up to your full potential, and if you want to help this younger generation who doesn't think they need our help at all. We have to be available to train them and to teach them, because without us, they don't have much of a chance. They're dealing with a wickedness that's so pervasive, so hard to detect, but maybe they're better than us. Maybe they're well prepared. I just don't know. Maybe the Spirit will be coming across them. I have heard of some amazing things lately. Yahweh bless.